Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. We're going to be having another game here for you. It's going to be another best of 5 from our Dreamhack 2016 from Leipzig, which was actually held in late January, so just a few days ago, not too long, and hope you guys enjoy this one. So it's going to be a Protoss versus Terran, one of the least casted game matchups that I have, which is actually pretty interesting. Okay, is he like saying that he's going to lose pretty much straight away? That's definitely interesting. So basically, it is from a tournament that just completed, and of course this means that they're going to move on to the next round. And I do believe there's a few of those pre-main tournament kind of events. So let's see how this one plans out. On the top right hand side here of Dusk Towers, we have PtitDrogo, who is spawning as the blue Protoss. Now, PtitDrogo is on Team mYinsanity, and he represents France. Now, his opponent, Basior, is from Poland, and he is on... and he is on Team Nuit Blanche, which I believe is a French team, although he is from Poland himself. So playing as the Terran with the pink color, which is pretty awesome to see as well. So that's definitely something to note. And let's see how our players start out here. Now, a bit of a strange start here from our Terran player, not opting to go for the gas. Very, very common to actually start like that. And by the way, this is pre-nerf, so currently, in case you're following the actual patch, the details, there's been a nerf to the Protoss race. So there is a pylon overcharge. I believe it's a nerf because I mean it increases the damage, or increases the cost of the pylons by twice as much, which is crazy. But on the other hand, they also got a nerf for... what is it called? The actual adepts, they got a damage nerf, so it's just a one damage nerf, and it's something that I actually was talking about in one of my much earlier games. It would have probably been about 2 weeks ago at this point, and I just said that what if they nerfed the adept damage versus light units by just 1 damage? What that does is essentially means that you need 3 adepts to one-shot a worker of any type, and of course it also means that you know, the harassment from adept is not as overpowered as it was before. Now, saying that, they still 2-shot Zerglings as far as I'm aware, so that's definitely something that remains. And for Marines, I think it's going to be the same. It's going to be 3-shot at the moment because they do have 45 health. Now with 1 armor, again, this would have been effective the same way, but the one thing to note is if an adept gets 1 attack really early, which is, to be honest, not a very uncommon sight, you do see it quite often, then at that point they will again one-shot the SCVs. So it's definitely something important to note, and I think that it's a very important nerf to have as well, because personally I thought it was a little bit overpowered. But hey, everyone thinks differently as well. So 3 racks coming out here for Basior, not actually going for any sort of heavier tech. And I do believe this is going to be just a typical Marine Marauder composition, and then possibly going to go into some medevacs. But at the moment, just opting to go for that production capability of Marines, and nothing really special. It does have stim pack on the way as well. As you notice, I don't have the icons showing up on a thing, and this is simply because the skin, the WCS skin, does not show it when you're on a current patch, which is exactly the case right now. It's a bit unfortunate, but hopefully once the patch, there's actually a patch coming in today, which, as I said, I usually cast a few days in advance, so you're probably seeing this a few days after the patch. But basically the patch coming in today should change the patch number, which means that the WCS interface should theoretically go back to the same way it was, showing me both the unit being built in the building as well as units lost on the left hand side here. Okay, so it looks like there was a quick pause there. That's been fixed now. Let's see what's going on here. So, by the way, all of these tournaments were played on LAN, so a bit strange to have lag, because these players were all in the same convention. They were inside like a tournament hall, and I remember watching some of it. I didn't actually watch a lot of it just to prevent spoilers. As much as I love esports, if I plan to cast it, I do try to avoid watching it too much. Maybe I'll probably watch it later with the professional guys casting it as well. I do believe there's probably some VODs for it. So let's see, looks like a command center being built again for Basior, so he's definitely thinking of expanding yet again. So the thing is, I'm not really sure if it's a little bit early to expand yet, or if he's just not expecting any aggression from PtitDrogo. But again, it is going to be a little bit of a risk. And of course, throwing those 400 minerals into a command center instead of those extra 8 marines could either make it or break it for him in the mid game. So in my opinion, I would consider the mid game somewhere between 8 and 12 minutes. Maybe even, no, I would say up until 10 minutes is where your mid game is. So the early game, very early game, is up until 5. Then 5 to about 10 is mid game. And then anything after is pretty late. Because in a 10 or more minute game, you can actually at that point get yourself, for example, a hive. You could get yourself heavy air units for different races. So 10 minutes is definitely a point where I would consider a late game in Legacy of the Void. I know back in Heart of the Swarm and Wings of Liberty, you could go on for probably about 15 minutes before you get to the late game easily, simply because you didn't start off so aggressively with 12 workers on your command center, hatchery or nexus. So definitely something to keep in mind. I do think that we're currently in the mid game, and this is going to be crucial. What is the unit composition that's going to be made here? Now, interestingly enough, Basior not opting to snipe that off. You should be able to see that.
Upgrade complete.
Definitely. And these two drops actually getting spotted pretty much straight away. So this is going to be... Oh my god! PtitDrogo, he's getting Colossus! Oh my god, did Colossus get a secret nerf I didn't hear about? Because Colossus have been so terrible in the meta currently, just simply because they don't do that much damage. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see if he's going to make use of those, what he's going to do with them, and of course how the game is going to play out. This drop, again, has 2 Marauders and a total of 12 Marines inside that, so definitely pretty cool to have. And this other observer definitely seeing the timing of that as well. So here we go, the Stalkers, Immortal, Adept and Sentry already in position. There is a cannon also here. Oh my god, managing to snipe one of these medevacs, that was absolutely huge. So he's definitely going to want to be very, very careful right now with what he does here, because if he overextends and basically loses this one as well, he's going to be so far behind at that point that it could be very well unrecoverable. Looking at the income tab, looks like PtitDrogo has almost double the gas income, but he has very, very similar minerals, just simply because, of course, there's 3 bases here for the Terran, and there's going to be mules in play as well, so they would always be just a tad bit ahead. Now, level 1 upgrades is coming out here for a Protoss player. One thing to note, he did not make use of any Adept harassment so far. Now, this, as I said, it's the pre-nerf, so still Adepts do want to shot the workers, so it is something interesting that he didn't actually make use of that. And there we go, the Colossus on the field now. Let's see how he's going to make use of that. The extended thermal lance is on the way as well, just about to complete here. And both armor and ranged weapons about to complete also for Protoss. So it's going to be quite a crucial time for him. Now we are seeing Ghost as well. Ghost obviously used for the EMP pulse. What that does essentially is, I think it clears off up to 200 shields off units, if I'm not mistaken, or is it 150? Can't quite remember. If anyone knows exactly, or if you play Terran and you know exactly, please correct me. And that will be of much use. Now there we go, the Colossus being used to snipe off Widow Mines here. That's actually quite clever here. Gonna definitely want to be very, very careful with that, not to lose that too early. Defender circles are in place also. There's a total of 4 of them in place here, and unfortunately for PtitDrogo, nothing to actually snipe those off right now. He is going to need to get something to get rid of those a little bit faster. I think that against Protoss, the actual Liberators are one of the strongest units simply because of their range. For example, Zerg, they have Ravagers, they're not extremely expensive, and Ravagers are able to snipe them off. Just 3 Ravages is enough to, or 2 Corrosive Biles is enough. Oh my god, 3 Colossi right now, so this is definitely an interesting tactic here. Now there we go, we have a fusion core coming out. Now I honestly don't believe it's going to be battle cruisers, so I'm going to automatically assume that this is the increased range for our Liberators. What that does essentially is, just in case somebody doesn't know, is increases the range at which the defender circles can be put down. So a very, very important upgrade when you're trying to either turtle or to deny positioning for your opponent. Now this is actually quite a scary army moving out here from Basior. So he's got 108 against 118 of PtitDrogo. There is Colossi on the field, so they're going to be very good against cleaning up this bio army. I think it's still very heavily favouring PtitDrogo because of those Colossi, despite the fact that they are, of course, you know, not as powerful as they used to be. So it's going to be a very difficult moment for him here. If he manages to engage without the Liberator circles, he will definitely be at a big advantage against his opponent. Oh my god, managing to snipe off 1, 2, almost getting the third as well, and he is inside the Liberator circles. This is not a great position for PtitDrogo. Is he going to lose most of his units here? Starting to take so much damage from these Liberators. 6 kills on this one, 6 kills on this one, and 3 on this one. That's a total of 15 kills so far with just 3 Liberators. Now this is going to be dangerous here. Is he going to manage to snipe off one of the Liberators here? I do think he will manage to get that. There we go. One gets taken out. Second about to get taken out. There we go. The actual Widow Mines also starting to do some damage here. Beautiful play here. And I do think that PtitDrogo is coming out far on top on this one. Colossus doing so much damage. And this is an absolute cleanup here for PtitDrogo. 70 to 32 in favor of PtitDrogo in terms of supply, more than double. I think if he keeps moving on here, denies this base, he could very well take this game here at about 11 minutes into it. Now 1 Colossus is a little bit low. I still think it's quite okay. No problem to keep that in the fight. It will regenerate most of its shields and be kept in the game just there. So there we go, the circle's going down. And PtitDrogo doing the smart move of just avoiding the extra range of these Liberators. Now the Liberators are getting very quickly taken out here as well. I think that Basior just does not have enough, and honestly I'm pretty struggling to continue on with believing that Basior has this game in the bag, just simply because he is not in a great position right now. He has less than half of the supply of PtitDrogo, so definitely heavily favoring our Protoss player in this one. Level 2 weapons on the way as well, making even more Colossi. Colossi is just something that you don't see anymore, and I'm very happy to see that being brought back into the meta right now. Just a bit of a... Now just to note, there's a Mothership Core here as well, so this Time Warp going to be a little bit of use to him. Now I think that the main thing he needs to do right now is just snipe off these Liberators. If he can snipe off the Liberators, he'll be able to just go straight in there and just completely wreck the very small army that's remaining here. And there we go, that's exactly what he's done. He's managed to run in there, snipe them off, and at that point GG was called, with PtitDrogo taking game number 1. A beautiful game played by PtitDrogo, managing to snipe off that harassment as well. I think that was a very important moment, and that's pretty much it. Game number 1 goes in favor of PtitDrogo. And that is pretty much it for our game between PtitDrogo and Basior. I hope you've enjoyed this one. PtitDrogo had some very good control there, and I have to say very good patience as well for basically getting around those Liberators instead of just going straight head into them. That's pretty much it. As usual, leave it a thumbs up and of course subscribe if you haven't done so already. And our question of the series is of course still, do you play any other Blizzard games? If you do, of course leave a comment below in the description, in the comment section, and I will reply if you have any other questions. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck, take care, bye bye.